Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest I feel like we're so close to the screen. I got to sit back here. Welcome to the newest episode of Sadie and Sean Have No Friends. Sean, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Did you watch any of the Olympics over the weekend? Because that's
Nope.
all I did. You didn't do any of that? What
I
did you
I was
do?
scrolling through. Well, Friday I had a show with my band. Saturday I had a radio station show with Zach Brown and Kenny Chesney, and then
Yeah.
Sunday I did have a little bit of time to relax. But my grass needed mowed and my laundry needed. So I did. I did flip through the channels, and it said that men's skateboarding street was on. And I turned it on, and it was dudes gymnastics,
Yes, that's
and
my
I hate dudes
favorite.
gymnastics. No, it's awkward to me that they have gigantic upper body muscles, which I don't like, and they also wear really tight pants, and you can see their bulge, and
Which you don't like
them
either.
doing them doing flips on bars and stuff doesn't do it for me.
I
So
love
I
it. I am
turned it off.
fascinated. No,
If it
I
was
thought it
skateboarding, I would have kept it on.
but it was dudes with big bulges in their leotard. And
Even
Sean wasn't
Asian
there
guys,
for
I
that.
had always heard rumors that the Asian guys have small peepees, but not the gymnasts.
Really? Well, do you also think, like, I know, and I've actually looked into this product because I think I desperately need it, but you can buy underwear with the butt, that like butt pads, so it looks like you have a big butt. It's my dream to have a big butt. I just don't think it's in my genes. I'm more of gut. I'm from gut people where our guts get big, but our asses stay really flat. It's a horrible look. And so I have to wonder if they make, for people who don't have big wieners, if they make fake Olympic wieners,
Yeah, they're
prosthetics.
called socks. We put those in our
You
whitey
can't do
tidies,
a
and
diving routine with a sock. And also, how do you have that conversation with your coach who has dedicated so much to getting you to the Olympics and you might be a half a millimeter of a second off because of your vanity and having to have socks in your pants?
yeah, the swimmers
Ridiculous.
don't do it because the swimmers, they'll even like shave their heads and stuff because that can cut down on time. So they
Yeah.
don't. There's no swimmers that are stuffing anything in their pants, but the gymnasts, why not?
Yeah, because you're doing a lot of acting. What
Yeah,
do
that
you
would
want to
be
be
real
known?
embarrassing if a
I
sock
would
came out the bottom of your pants.
Yeah, I would rather be known as the person that I didn't win silver, gold, or bronze, but a sock didn't fall out because then the memes would start going and it would just be a mess.
You know what? You'd get a lot of hate, but I'm almost starting to feel like a lot of people are planning catastrophes in their careers because they've always said that any press is good press. But I feel like in the day and age of social media, as it's gotten more and more popular, that couldn't be more true. I think mostly about the girl from Colorado who sang the national anthem at the home run derby a couple of weeks ago, and she completely butchered it.
That our flag was still there.
She was
Yeah.
completely horrible. Her name's Ingrid Andrews. She's actually a friend of mine. She's a Colorado country artist, so of course I know her.
You do? Oh.
Of
But
course.
I felt bad for her originally because it was
Yeah.
bad. Like, it was
And
bad,
yeah,
and everyone was talking
like
about it.
she's like going to rehab, right?
Yeah, but her streams in the last 2 weeks since that happened have, like, quadrupled.
Oh, really? I'm not
Yeah.
too shocked by that.
There's millions and millions and millions of people who had no idea 2 weeks ago who Ingrid Andress is, and
That's
now they
true.
know who she is, and they've went and listened to her music, which gives her money. It's, like, worked out really well for her. Like, you have to deal with the repercussions of it. She got beat up real bad, and there was probably some real nasty things she had to read about herself on social media, but she blew up. And, like, I would do it. I would sing the national anthem horribly if it meant that I had a career. I'd let the sock pop out of my pants if it meant all of a sudden you're on a Wheaties box.
No, but I'm going to tell you who that is absolutely backfiring for right now, and that's Hawk Tuah girl. How do you say it?
Tua.
Hawk Tuah girl. Sean, of course, I knew you'd know. The Hawk Tuah girl right now. I saw that she had posted a video on social media on like TikTok, and it was one of those dumb ones where you're dancing and you point, and when you point, like something words come up, and she's like talking about how people are wanting to get a hold of her, and naturally she is now going on to one of those kind of like, I think it's like an OnlyFans site. And
Oh yeah,
everyone was commenting and saying, "Well, that didn't take long."
she
And
sold her
people were
soul already.
I know people were like commenting about like I think when she first came out, it was adorably relatable, as gross as that is, but it was like it was she was so cute. And then she started showing up everywhere. And then when we found out she was, like a preschool teacher, we were like, oh, justice for Hawk Tuah girl. I mean, and then and now she just I keep seeing her on social media. Now she's getting into like fights with other celebrities who are like, dude, sit down. You're not a celebrity. She's going to end up getting a reality show, but I don't know. I saw that she signed up for it wasn't OnlyFans, but it's pretty close. It's I
She
don't
does
know.
have a line of apparel now being sold at Hot Topic and Spencer's in the mall. I saw that, and I did see that she also introduced an artist. I think it was a country artist, but I can't remember, at a recent festival. And they brought her out, and they were like expecting the crowd to go crazy because she's such a
And they
viral
booed
sensation.
her.
They didn't boo her, but no one cheered, no one cared. And so the MC lady that brought her out was like, "Hey, she's the one that went viral. Like she's the one, and it just got more silent. People at this festival did not care one bit.
Uh-oh. So she's had such a hard stumble so quickly. I mean, didn't that happen like 2 months ago, maybe? Even less?
Yeah, probably less.
Yeah, and she's already kind of in the shitter, but I guess people all they have to do if they thought she was hot and I mean she was talking about something very sexual. Now I guess that's something that she's kind of maybe leading into.
Well,
Maybe
here's the thing.
maybe not.
Most people
Maybe I don't know.
most people are famous for something. Like they're famous because they're good at something, whether it be like Brad Pitt's a good actor and he's a good looking dude, so he's famous. Like we get why he's famous, or comedians famous because they're funny, musicians famous because they're good at music. She's famous because she said one stupid viral line and she has nothing more to offer. And so there's a reason that she's going to fall. It's kind of like the Kardashians, in my opinion. Like they got famous for being rich, and that doesn't keep you famous for very long. Although
I don't
they've
know.
done a
We're
good job
going
of
on
holding
like
on. Yeah,
it's been 25 years of
they're
these folks,
holding
and
on.
that really all started with the sex. I got to move this. That all really started with the sex tape. They have been able to take over the world just because. I mean, Kim Kardashian is the original girl. You know what I mean? She is.
Kinda.
So,
She
but I also think that that's a different situation where it seems like Hawk Tuah girl is like
Tua,
from
Hawk Tuah.
Talk to a girl is from like a small town, and I think the Kardashians, they grew up in that area and they knew what you had to do, or how to take it from Hawk to a girl to the next level.
Yeah, she's failing. We probably someday 10 years from now, we'll look back on Hawk Tuah girl and we'll laugh and be like, we made her famous for 15 minutes. And it literally was 15 minutes and no one knows where she is or what she's doing anymore. And then they'll do like a documentary about her and she's living in a double wide and she's done too much meth and she doesn't have very many teeth. And no one will be real surprised. That's me telling the future right now.
Why are you being so mean to her?
I'm not being mean.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying,
saying
like,
her
this is
luck is not
probably.
it's not going the way it should. But what I'm saying is, yeah, that would probably suck if down the road you were a sensation and your kids are like, why? And you're like, oh, kids, mom was a champ.
Yeah, yeah, and you can't ever live that down. Like, no matter what she goes on to do, no matter like she could become the president of the United States, and we'd all still just remember this. Like, there's certain things like if you're gonna get famous and you're gonna go viral, you want to get famous and go viral for, and I don't think that's one of them because you're always
No,
that now. You're always
you're
that, no
always going
matter
to be
what you do.
that. Yeah, I totally, totally agree. So I saw that and I thought, damn, that was a quick descent down. And
And back to
I
Ingrid
kind
Andress,
of,
though, it does suck because she will always be the girl who screwed up the national anthem. She's always going to be
yeah.
mentioned among the likes of Roseanne Barr and people who have screwed up the national anthem
Fergie.
horribly. But he can rebound. I feel like she goes to rehab, she comes out, now everybody knows who she is, she puts out a really good song, and she could become famous and sell lots of tickets and make lots of money. And yes, people will still say she's the girl that messed up the national anthem, but they'll still go see her. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't paying any
she's
money to see Hawk
infamous.
Tuah girl.
No, I'm not going to pay. Yeah, and I also read that she was doing kind of like club nights where she'd show up at a club and you could meet her. I mean, like that doesn't go very far, but God bless her. I mean, she grabbed the money while it was in front of her. She was like,
You
"All
don't
right,
know if there's money.
she has to be making like to do those club appearances. I'm sure they paid her something so that she can go out to Atlantic City and like show up at the pool and such. But I don't know. It's a slippery slope out there.
It is. She didn't ask for this, but it almost feels like she's happy it happened because she's certainly
Yeah.
embracing it. There's some people that could have gone viral for the same exact thing, and they would have been like, haha, like, can I move on with my life? And she's definitely trying to live up, like live through it and take
Yeah.
advantage as much as she
I
can.
hope she doesn't disappear.
She
I
will.
hope she does. She will.
Oh, she's gonna disappear.
Sean, I thought this
People
is
are
your
already
friend
over
from
it.
Colorado. Why are you so
We're
mean?
talking about the Hawk Tuah girl. I'm saying that
Oh.
Ingrid Andress has a chance to not disappear.
Oh yeah, no, Hawk Tuah girl, she's gonna be gone. And one day, like in 25 years, our kids are gonna like at a vintage store find it and we're gonna be like, oh wow. But by then in 25 years, doing that on the internet and going won't be like that shocking or crazy of a thing to do.
Maybe it will. I hope our world like becomes less of a crazy place. And I'm going to sound like a prude, but like I almost kind of do. I don't like that's what everybody like went viral for, like went
Yeah.
crazy for. At some
Yeah,
point,
but
like
listen,
15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, people might have been like, "Oh, we don't talk about that in public."
I know my grandfather got slapped in the face because he said the word pregnant. And now I'm like, have you heard of the song WAP, Grandma or Grandpa? Like, if he came back from the grave and saw that there was a song called WAP, and if you don't know what it stands for, you just got to look it up. But, and if you haven't heard the song, you just got to look it up and listen to it because it's out of control. And even when I was in high school, that was like I remember Eminem came out when I was in high school, and that was like, wow. That is he's talking about and I guess he was, he's talking
Dude,
about
I
killing his
remember
wife in a trunk and
I was I was on the way to a field trip in probably 6th grade, and my parents didn't shelter me, but they didn't listen to Eminem, and my buddy had a Walkman, and
yeah.
he was like, "Hey, listen to this," on this field trip in 6th grade, and it was Eminem's first album, and I was like, "Holy shit, this exists? Like, what is going on?" It was life-changing shit. I couldn't believe that, like, there was music about that.
Yeah,
And up until that point, I don't know that there was. Like, that was pretty
he just
out
didn't
there back
care. He was
then.
like the angriest person in the world. And he's still insanely popular. A couple episodes ago I said Eminem just came out with a new album and you're like, "No, he didn't." And I said he did and you go, "I think I know." And then you didn't know cuz he did just come out with a brand new album. And the one thing I love, I've heard some of the songs and I think they're great, but I think Eminem, the fatal flaw that he's making is he's dyeing his hair black too much. You know what I mean? Like his beard or his goatee and his hair, he dyes like black, 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 black. I think there would be something cool about almost like a Beastie Boys, just let that gray come in and I could still kick your ass and fuck your wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have
I
you
just
seen Fred
take some
Durst?
legitimacy away when he uses just for men.
Have you seen Fred Durst lately, the lead singer of Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, but Fred Durst is no Eminem. I think we
Look
can
up a
all
picture of Fred Durst, though, and I would
okay, let me
rather
look.
have to type in Fred Durst 2024 and or 2023
Thank
even,
you.
but I would rather have Eminem trying to stay young than just going full Fred Durst because I can't listen to Fred Durst sing "Rollin', Rollin', Rollin', Rollin'" when he looks like fucking Colonel Sanders. I can't. I couldn't go to a Limp Bizkit concert. I'd walk out if I saw Fred Durst come out looking
He
like
looks
Fred
like
Durst
Kris
looks.
Kringle.
Put it up.
Well, if you're watching on video, I will put a better picture. But
Even if you don't know who Fred Durst is, go
this is
look up a current
blurry,
picture of
but,
Fred
like,
Durst.
oh god, I
And
suck.
it's oh dude, it's hard for me to I can't listen to Santa Claus come out
It looks like
and
Santa.
yeah, it doesn't work for me. So I'd rather Eminem try to hold on to the past. And like I'm all right with the Just for Men. I'm not all right with letting yourself go if that's how you look. Fred Durst got to do something about that. Doesn't work for
Yeah,
me.
I
And so
think that
yeah, but the
no,
other
but the Eminem thing, that's a completely different thing. Like I think that it would be like you don't have to go full Santa Claus. Just you just have to, like age gracefully. Like George Clooney's got a little bit of the salt and pepper, and that's attractive. And if he came out with just a little bit, if he came out with his normal hair color where it wasn't dyed black, I bet he is gorgeous, but all I can think about is like if it rains, does it drip down? Does he have a handler?
I use Just for Men in my beard when I grow out a full beard because you're going to tell me that it's because I have gray, and that's fine. But I actually have a lot of blonde in my beard. I always have. And so when I grow out a full beard, I'll get a little Just for Men, and you put it in there. And people have always asked, "Aren't you afraid it's going to like leak and it's going to come down when it's what?" No, it's like when you dye your fucking hair, it doesn't come out. It's hair
You know
dye.
what? I think that the dye thing is, well, first of all, I can't say it's just like a movie myth, because look at Rudy Giuliani. That so happened to him. Did you ever see that,
No,
Sean?
I don't know what you're talking.
Holy shit. Look up Rudy Giuliani's hair dye because, well, I guess I'll tell you, he essentially had hair dye and it dripped down his forehead, like his whole face. He said, I think
Some bad hair dye.
he was at like an event. That's what I'm thinking. Don't you get paid fairly well? And that's as good as you can do. But so I guess it is true. It could happen, Sean. I hate to tell you.
I've dyed myself many times, and it doesn't drip if you use Just for Men. Maybe if you get the expensive shit, maybe it looks a little bit better, but it drips. But I
Yeah.
think Eminem's just using normal old Just for Men, so he's going to be fine. You know who though? Speaking of like celebrities who are getting a little bit older and they've been around for a while in the country music world, and you asked me what I did this weekend. I went to this Kenny Chesney show at Mile High,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Zach Brown from the Zach Brown Band opened the show. And the last time I saw Zach, he was getting pretty buff, like in the arms, like he was getting pretty ripped. But dude, he's like a full on like male model now. This guy,
Yeah.
talk
I've
about
seen
aging
pictures.
gracefully. I remember when Chicken Fried came out, he was like the fat guy. He was the resident big guy in country music, and he's singing about Chicken Fried. It made sense. And now this guy is ripped. He's straight up ripped. I had 3 or 4 different people come up to me throughout the night. One of them being another opener who's one of the more like rising stars in country music, Megan Maroney, and like, when did Zach Brown get hot? Like
Ooh, well, he's getting a divorce, isn't he?
yeah, he already did.
And I
He
heard that it
mentioned
got
that when
like
I asked him.
dirty, right? I
Yeah,
think it
it
got
was not
kind of
pretty because
dirty.
it was a very short-lived marriage. It sounds as though maybe like a really pretty girl who wanted to be in the famous lifestyle and then realized that she just wanted his money. And so yeah, I think it got real messy. But he actually mentioned that to me because I asked him. I had seen him not that long ago, and I was like, dude, exactly what I just told you. Last time I saw you, you were ripped in the arms, but now like you're skinny. Do you have a six-pack? And he's like, yeah, I'm starting to see abs. He's like, quite frankly, I sing, I see my kids when I get to see them, and I'm in the gym because I got dumped, and so I have nothing better to do.
Oh, you got dumped? I haven't really looked deep into the relationship issues, but I just saw like here and there little stories about them, I think like suing each other
Yeah,
and
it wasn't
getting
good.
like restraining orders. And I was like, damn, Zach Brown band, you're crazy. And wasn't he married for quite a while? And
Yeah,
then
his
he got a
original wife that he
divorce.
has the kids with, she was like the thing, and it's sad, but it's true with most of these people that like start from
Like
nothing
she
and
was
then
the
get
starter wife, just
yeah,
say it.
get famous, and then at some point a famous, you're like, I can't be with that starter wife anymore. I don't, and I
Yeah.
can't say that's what happened with Zach. I don't know, but you do see it a lot in the famous people
Well, look at
world.
like someone else who was just Jason Aldean.
Yeah,
That's
he definitely
exactly what happened.
he definitely upgraded.
No, that's not true. You
Uh,
don't know
up
that. Just like
from a look standpoint, he from a I need a supermodel looking wife.
yeah,
Upgraded is the wrong word because his original wife was probably a sweetheart and she did not deserve that. She bared his kids, and I'm not saying upgraded like that. I'm saying he in his mind upgraded looks wise.
yeah. No,
And but yes, he definitely. I don't know what happened with Zach and his original wife, but this was
well, it
his
sounds
second
like if
wife.
Zach got yeah, that's true. Ooh, I hope that didn't happen. I hope he didn't do that. And you know what? But this all makes sense because usually when there's a breakup in a relationship, one person gets like super healthy in shape because it's just like they know they're going to be on the hunt. You know what I
I
mean? And
don't know
maybe
that
that's
Zach
what's going on.
I wanted to be like, dude, he's told me that he's paleo as well, and a paleo diet sucks. And so I wanted to be like, dude, you could be fat, Zach Brown, who ate chicken fried, and you probably still would have no problem pulling the same girls that you're gonna pull now. Some of us would need to look good like you to pull
Yeah.
those girls. You don't, and so you're
Yeah.
kinda wasting your time, bud. You're kinda like living a
Oh,
miserable
just
life for
eat
nothing.
that. Let's go get
Who
some
cares?
chicken wings.
If you're
Yeah,
only doing it to impress the girls probably already liked you.
but have you ever thought that maybe it okay, so have you ever thought that maybe he just feels better being incredibly healthy? Also, like exercise can be a super addiction. And if you get into it, like a great addiction, but if you get into it, there are some people that I know that work out all day. They work out all day. That's all they do is and they look amazing. But I like food too much
Yeah.
and I just like to eat.
That's kinda what I've learned in my life
I like
too,
to
is I go on these stupid diets, and in my mind, when I start them, this is gonna be the one that sticks, and I'm gonna do it forever, and it just the fact of my life is that's never gonna happen, so what I've learned is I'm gonna eat what I want, I'm gonna try to watch when I can, and I'm gonna move, and then I won't be a fat ass, but I'm also never gonna be Zach Brown in shape, and that's just how it is, and I'm okay with it. The other guy that was on that show, though, was Kenny Chesney. He was the headliner, and he came into the room and chatted with us as well. And I've met Kenny a few times, but for whatever reason, it was this time that it dawned on
that's
me.
hot.
And I mean this, I mean this with all due respect, but I'm very surprised based on the way that Kenny Chesney looks that he was the guy from that like mid 90s era that made it out. He's the only guy from the mid 90s that's still playing football stadiums, right? Garth and George Strait are in a different league, so I'm not including them. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like the Tim McGraws and the Brad Paisleys and the you can name a Clint
Yeah,
Blacks, all
that's
those guys from
true.
the
What
mid
is
90s. He's the only one that's still playing football stadiums to this day. And he comes in and he's also in very, very good shape, by the way. But he
yeah.
is a full 5'5", if that, so
Mhm.
tiny. He has to
Yeah.
wear a size I wear a size 32 waist jean. He has to wear like a size 24.
You
He's
should have picked
he's
him
so
up.
little and he's very, very bald, which he's embraced. He's never really tried to hide his bald. He wears his cowboy hat on stage, but he does interviews and stuff where he's full bald and he's fine
Bald.
with it.
Yeah,
But
it's not like a
it's not
secret.
he doesn't wear bald very good. And he's too
Does
much
he have a
sun,
weird
he's
head?
very
Like a weird
leathery, he spent a lot of time in the islands, you can tell, and I'm just like, "Man, the music's really good," and that's probably what's carried him, and he's built this, like, whole, like, modern day Jimmy Buffett island guy sorta
I was
vibe.
gonna say, what actually I think why he broke out was because he became the Jimmy Buffett of a different era and a different time, and I think that people like that. It's light and it's fluffy and it's fruity and it's easy and it's beaches and Kenny Chesney is pretty I mean, he's kinda grown into the whole Jimmy Buffett thing. I mean,
Yeah,
the dude even owns, like, an island.
he truly is. He is the modern day, this generation's Jimmy Buffett, and I noticed that because there always used to be, like, when there was a Jimmy Buffett concert, the parrot heads, they called them, the fans would
Yeah.
follow around, and there would be everyone that went to a Jimmy Buffett concert would tailgate beforehand, and now
Mhm.
I went to a couple of shows at the football stadium this summer, and there was, like, 4 tailgates going on in the whole area for these other shows.
No, that's what I'm
Everyone
saying.
is tailgating at a Kenny Chesney show, everyone. It's like they're parrot heads. It's modern
They're
day Jimmy
totally
Buffett for sure.
modern
But
day Jimmy Buffett,
he's
yeah.
and Jimmy Buffett wasn't a good-looking guy either by any it's not like he's a sex symbol. No one ever thought, "Ooh, Jimmy Buffett, such a hottie." But Kenny Chesney, it's just like he came into the room and it was right after Zach Brown, who now is a good looking dude. And Ken, I'm just like, dude, this is a little troll. I'm just surprised that
Really?
he's wearing
So
like
you're
an
saying
old
ugly should go first and then yes, you're right.
he was
So what was
wearing a
he wearing?
He was wearing a polo, like a outdated like polo, just a black plain polo and a backwards trucker hat. And he was stressed out because the weather was getting bad and a show had just gotten canceled in Phoenix earlier this week. And so he was worried that it was going to get canceled in Denver too. And so he was like he was
Was
just
he worried or
he
was he just
wasn't
wondering if
charming.
he got to go home?
Oh,
He's
he
like,
was worried.
"Come
And one
on,
thing I will tell you about Kenny Chesney, like in talking to him a few times, he cares about his fans, like for real cares about his fans. There's
yeah.
some guys that I feel like there would be a weather delay on the horizon or a cancellation possible, and they'd be like, "Get me on my private
Heck
plane
yeah,
back
'cause I
home to
get
Nashville.
paid.
I'll go to bed."
Yeah.
Kenny's like legit watching the weather, worried about it. Like, am I going to get to put this show on for my fans? And so that's cool. And
That's very
I feel
honorable.
bad. We're just very honest on this podcast because Kenny's a good guy and I like him and he's sweet, talking shit about how he looks. But in an era where, in an era and a industry where pretty people usually win,
Yeah.
a short, kind of
Yeah, but
ugly
I
looking dude
know
won. So good for
dude,
him.
no, I know some chicks who are, like, horny for Kenny, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" First of all, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that gets it, and it's okay, and it's alleged by m it's I think he's just a little gay. I think he's a little tiny
Yeah,
bit
there's
gay.
a lot of people who have said that. He doesn't strike me as gay, but
So,
he
but he
also has
doesn't
never.
strike me as somebody where I'd look at him and be like Tim McGraw is like sex on a stick. Keith Urban, like when you see those people, they're just perfection. I've never thought that.
Hold
I
on, I'm
just
pulling
never
up this
have.
picture of Kenny. He was at the Broncos training camp the other day,
Mhm.
and he's there with his hat off in his full glory.
So wait, are you why is he not good? Is it the shape of his head?
Just watch, like, and you can kind of just see like there's just not anything.
And I'll post this. Oh yeah, he looks like an eraser.
Yeah,
Just
that's
looks like
just not
an
sex symbol to me.
eraser.
Nice
Okay,
arms.
well,
I mean, if you go
well,
like this, ooh,
yeah,
Kenny looking good, bud. But then
zing, Eraserhead. Which is terrible to say. We're awful people for saying that, but this is how Sean and I just talk just alone. So we're just going to be honest with you that that was not a good look for him. You're right.
hey, it's worked out really well for him. Kenny Chesney is doing very, very good.
Yeah. Anyway, we have to think. Well, is it too early? Do you want to still talk about your best friend Kenny Chesney and how he looked
He's
like an
not my best friend
eraser?
anymore. I just sat here and talked shit about him for 5 minutes. Somebody's going to send this to him, and next time he's here, I'm not getting invited into that room.
They're going to be like, "Who called me an eraser?" That's the
Well,
freedom
that
of
was
not
you. I
being in the
never said the word
See?
eraser.
But I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry. Someone was I know a lot of people who went to his show, and I am like I've never been to a Kenny Chesney show. The people that have gone say that it is like a cool show to go to, but I just don't like going anywhere and I don't and I'm thinking of these people, I'm like, you gotta park, you gotta walk, you gotta I mean, I'm just not a fun person in general.
Yeah, it is. Those stadium shows are a lot, and that's why you and I have talked about this on this podcast before. Where like I'll get messages from people and say like, "You have the best life in the world, and you get to do all these cool things." And I do. I don't take any of it for granted. I really don't. I was counting my lucky stars the other night as I was watching the show because there was a Kenny Chesney show at that football stadium probably 10 years ago, and I was truly at the very top, like as far back as you could get on the they have a Bronco head like embedded into the seats at the football stadium. I was on that Bronco head at the very top. There was a girl who got too drunk in the parking lot who puked on my back that night. I hated every second of it. It was hot. It was miserable. And I couldn't help but think about like that scenario 10 years ago. And now I'm sitting like three people back from Kenny on stage sweating on me. And I don't take it for granted, but like sometimes it's a lot. It's just a lot to get to
I
be.
just it's a
It's not
lot.
all glamorous all the time. It's not all glamorous all the time, but I do feel very blessed that I get to go do it. I still choose to do it.
You do it, and you're the busiest boy in the world. Let's end today's episode by saying number one, please subscribe to the channel. It just takes 1 second. I was looking at the stats on the numbers, and like 90 something percent of people that listen and watch, they're not actually subscribed. So you may be like, what does that mean? I don't fucking know. Figure it out though, and hook us up by subscribing, right, Sean?
You said this same stat last week and it was 80 something percent. So it's gone
It's
up,
gone
which is
up.
bad news
People have
because you've been
forgotten.
advertising it. So maybe
No,
we
I
don't
said it was
advertise it.
90
No,
something.
you said like 86%.
All right, hang on. Let me look.
So that's bad. If you're advertising and it's getting worse, you're going to need to fix that. You don't have time to look, and nobody cares about the actual number,
Oh,
but
yes. Also, thank you. God, you suck at this. Thank you to our friend Salon and Spa. 10% off if you mention Sadie and Sean have no friends. And they're located in Johnstown, Colorado, right by the Shields. So go in and see them, whether you're looking for your hair or whatnot. Also, the pet of the week, thanks to the folks at Casey's Pest Control Services. If you're looking for your new best friend, well, we've all teamed up with Second Home Rescue, and we're looking to find some homes for these animals. And you can do that by heading over to Sadie and Sean Have No Friends, our social media pages. Every week we post the different pet of the week, thanks to our friend Casey with Casey's Pest Control Services. And Sean, goodbye.